There's a lot of bad financial advice out there, even from some of the most well known voices in personal finance. Suze Orman was recently interviewed by the Wall Street Journal, and she said that she refuses to eat out. Quote, I refuse to eat out. I think that eating out on any level is one of the biggest wastes of money out there. End quote. Keep in mind that Susie lives in the Bahamas. She has an estimated net worth of $75 million, dollars, and she likes private air travel, unless it's to Europe, because that's ridiculous. Her words, not mine. If she wants to save money by never eating out, then that's her choice. But telling everyday retirees to do the same, I think that that's just a bit extreme. Yes, if you're broke or you're on a limited budget, then obviously you shouldn't be going out to eat all the time. The average restaurant meal costs $16.28, while cooking at home costs about $4.23. The math checks out. It's roughly 285% more expensive to eat out. But if money isn't tight, then I say go enjoy Chili's and their sizzling chicken fajitas because it's delicious. But here's the point. Going out to eat, even a couple of times during the week, it probably isn't going to be what derails you from a successful retirement. The real danger isn't the $20 lunches, it's the $50,000 projects. And that's what brings me to the one cost that can make or break your retirement: home renovations. I know a retiree who's a perfect example of how this problem can spiral out of control. He and his wife retired about 4 years ago, and they decided to upgrade their lifestyle where they sold their old house and they bought a larger home with great views. And because it was in an area with zero HOAs or no Melloroos, they convinced themselves that it was a very smart move, which made sense. But the project started. They graded their backyard to plant a small vineyard. They built a pickleball court, they remodeled the interior from top to bottom, and they completely redesigned the landscaping. Every time one project finished, another one started. And over the past 4 years, they've pulled out about $1.3 million from their portfolio, and roughly $500,000 of that went straight to the renovations alone. And now, just as they finished all of these projects, they're planning to sell the home and to leave California for a state with lower income taxes. Here's the problem. When they sell, a large portion of the proceeds, it's not going to be tax exempt. They're going to pay hefty taxes, they're going to have to pay hefty closing costs, and much of what they spent, it's not going to be reflected in the sale of that price. And the biggest concern that I have is there's a very real chance that they're going to repeat that same renovation cycle all over again in their new home. So this is not a rare story. We see it all the time, and I understand why we see it all the time. Think about the typical retiree's life. For decades, they work hard, they raise kids, they pay for college, they save for retirement, and they don't really have much extra money left over. Home projects are delayed, there's never enough time, energy, or money. Then all of a sudden they retire. And suddenly there's more time, there's more freedom, and they think that there's more money. Whenever you look at your brokerage account and you see seven figures in it, that can do a lot to someone's mindset. And so they start to notice that these things around the house that they want to improve. They want to host friends and they want to host family over, and they want this home to reflect this new chapter of their life. It's a very emotional side to all of this. Renovating a house, it can feel a lot like a reward, a symbol that they've made it. And none of this is really bad. It's a very human way to feel about all of this. But here's where it becomes a problem. The mindset shifts from what's necessary to what's possible. And when spending decisions are driven by possibility instead of purpose, these projects never really end because each one, it feels justifiable in that moment. And over time, you're quietly chipping away at that financial flexibility you once had when you started retirement. And almost every renovation goes over budget. If you've gone through a renovation, then you know it's always going to take longer and it's always going to cost more than you originally expected. So a better approach to all of this is to adopt a sufficiency mindset instead of a perfectionist mindset. Focus on what's enough to make your home comfortable and what's functional, what's enough to make it more enjoyable. Because chasing what's possible, as we've seen, that can lead to financial ruin. Because every dollar that you put into your house is a dollar that you can no longer use for travel, for experiences, or for peace of mind later on. And remember that your retirement, it's probably going to last a lot longer than you think. If you retire at the age of 60, your money is probably going to need to support you for 20 or even 30 years. And the first few years of that retirement are going to be the most crucial. And if you get that wrong, it's going to create a lot of problems down the road. Now, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of retirement and the desire to create that perfect home, but the financial stakes are very high, and the decisions that you make in those first few years, that can have a lot of ripple effects over the next few decades. And that's where we can help. At Bullock, our advisors work with clients every day to build retirement plans that balance lifestyle goals with long term financial security so that you can enjoy the life that you've built without putting your future at risk. So, if you'd like to make sure that you're on the right track, click the link below to schedule an introductory meeting with one of our senior advisors. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.